Thank you for your invitation to address the distinguished members of the Assembly. It is indeed a great honor to return back in my new capacity, especially at a time when we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Council of Europe, but also at a time of great peril and great suffering that our region is going through. Dear Secretary General, dear members of the Assembly, Excellencies, in time when the international law is severely violated, multilateralism is under attack, and new disruptive technologies are changing our life, we need a pivot, a point of reference. Throughout the years, the Council of Europe has managed to keep its role as such a pivot for human rights, for democracy, for rule of law. It was driven by deep conviction that only the pursuit of peace, based on justice and international cooperation, is vital for the preservation of human society and civilization. The Republic of Moldova joined the Council of Europe in 1995, being driven by the same ideas with the aspiration and commitments to contribute to a united, peaceful, and prosperous European community of values. What drives Moldova today? I would resume to three primary tasks. First, to continue deep reforms and transformation of our society. Second, to overcome the multiple challenges that we are facing today. And third, to build a prosperous European future for our people. Let me start with the reforms. For almost 30 years, the Council of Europe has been a long-standing partner for my country in its efforts to build a democratic society, strong democratic institutions, and we did it all together. 9 years ago, Secretary General Jagland referred to Moldova as a captured state. It was a painful yet accurate diagnosis, and it mobilized the healthy political forces for action. Over the past years, we have invested all our energy to clean up corruption in the justice system, to cut the influence of oligarchs in politics, economy, and media. We progressed a lot, and we are doing everything we can in order to implement all of the recommendations of our partners, including the Venice Commission, Manival, Greco, the ad hoc high-level working group on justice sector reform established under the auspices of the Secretary General at Moldova's request, shaped the progress that we see today. All this work is aimed to make our democracy stronger, our justice system more efficient and more transparent. We are focused not only on justice and anti-corruption, we are also working on modernizing how our public sector works, bringing it closer to our citizens. We also are digitizing our economy. A specific goal that we are aiming is to make improvements in various fields in order to adhere to the Council of Europe commitments so that hopefully in the near future we can graduate from the monitoring procedure of the Parliamentary Assembly. And here I make an appeal to my fellow former colleagues from the Monitoring Committee, and I can reassure you that Moldova will do everything it needs to make sure that we live up to our commitments and graduate the monitoring phase in order to progress on our European aspiration path. Now, turning to challenges, and they are many and they are severe. Primarily, the Russian aggression against Ukraine, which is causing enormous devastation to our neighbor and friend, but also has important negative repercussions on the Republic of Moldova. And we have repeatedly said it, and we remain firm in our commitment to stand by Ukraine, and we condemn in the strongest possible terms the barbaric Russian aggression against our friend and partner in Ukraine. The Republic of Moldova has shown solidarity with the people of Ukraine, welcoming about 1.5 million of Ukrainian refugees, still hosting about 115,000, mainly women and children. We have provided the temporary protection mechanism, and over 43,000 of Ukrainian refugees that have found shelter in Moldova have benefited from this mechanism, allowing to work, study, benefit from social, medical care in the Republic of Moldova. The Republic of Moldova has received considerable support in its effort to provide the best assistance to our Ukrainian friends and neighbors, including from the Council of Europe. And we are thankful that through the many projects on strengthening the protection of human rights for refugees and migrants from the Republic of Moldova, the European Union and the Council of Europe has been there for the Republic of Moldova. Moldova is also actively in supporting Ukraine through the solidarity lanes. Over 1 million tons of goods have passed through the Republic of Moldova to and from Ukraine, and we remain committed to providing our infrastructure to our Ukrainian friends and neighbors who are in desperate need of this support. As this devastating war has entered its third year, all the efforts by the international community must be channeled to helping Ukraine, to continue withstanding this aggression, taking action to discourage Russia from continuing this war, while searching for a sustainable and comprehensive solution that would bring justice and prevent any new war in the future. The peace formula presented by President Zelensky is such a framework. The Council of Europe is ensuring the accountability, which is crucial, and it has demonstrated its capacity through the establishment of a register of damages as a first step in creating a compensating mechanism, and we very much welcome the opening in The Hague of the claims submission process for compensation of damages. Moldova is a full participant of the register, and we support efforts in establishing a special tribunal for the crime of aggression against Ukraine. Another challenge is the unresolved conflict in the Transnistrian region of the Republic of Moldova. Our position remains unchanged. We support a peaceful settlement of the Transnistrian conflict through negotiations based on sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Moldova within our international recognized borders. The negotiations in the 5+2 format is put on hold. We mostly engage in direct dialogue with the left bank in order to prevent tensions and maintain calm. In this context, I would like to reiterate our deep concern regarding human rights infringements in the Transnistrian region of the Republic of Moldova. It is of great concern that any opinion or opposition by local activists ends with prison sentences for extremism, not to mention the criminal liability put in place for those who seek justice in international bodies. The European Court of Human Rights has issued several judgments finding Russia liable for human rights violations that take place in the Transnistrian region of the Republic of Moldova. Even though Russia has been kicked out of the Council of Europe, and for good reason, we should be finding ways to continue to pursue that Russia be held liable for the infringement of human rights in the Transnistrian region. The illegal presence of Russian troops and munitions in the Transnistrian region remains a major source of concern. And we remain firm in our demand that Russia withdraw its troops and munitions from the Republic of Moldova. More so, it is incredibly cynical to hear Russian authorities voicing concern about the neutrality status of the Republic of Moldova, while it was the Kremlin in this past 32 years that has been consistently and cynically violating the neutrality status of the Republic of Moldova. The third challenge is external attempts to destabilize the situation in my country. The goal is clear: to undermine the trust in the government and exploit the very economic misery that the Kremlin has created in order to undermine the political stability in the hope of establishing a pro-Russian government in the Republic of Moldova. But our people know better, and we will show that in the referendum that we have at the end of this year. We are making constant efforts to combat Russian continuous propaganda and disinformation. We are also facing threats of illegal financing and support of various political projects promoting populist pro-Kremlin agenda. It is a systemic attempt by Russia to use all the sensitive topics and trying to divide us domestically, trying to build wedges between Moldovans who are Romanian speakers and Russian speakers, between Moldovans that are at home and Moldovans that have left for the diaspora, between Moldovans and Ukrainian refugees that have found peace in the Republic of Moldova. All these attempts will fail because the Moldovan society, as I mentioned, knows better. Now, dear friends, I will mention the aspiration and the legitimate craving of the Moldovan people to be a member of the European family of nations. Building a future European European future together is the commitment of our people. Our objective is to unite our entire society around this goal. We have achieved a lot in the last couple of years, from submitting our application to EU accession to hopefully have the Intergovernmental Conference now in the next few weeks and actually starting to open chapters and embark on this long but important path of solidifying our democratic institutions, building prosperity in Moldova, and getting closer to the strategic goal of our country of being a member of the European family of nations. We are all aware that the long ahead is difficult. That is why we are taking very serious reforms, including in the justice sector and combating corruption, promoting human rights, so that we live first and foremost up to the expectation of our citizens, and of course to the commitments that we've taken upon with our European partners. An important part in building our European future is full respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. In this regard, recently the government adopted the new National Human Rights Program for the upcoming 3 years, which will guide the whole government approach in reform in this area, on gender equality, anti-trafficking, development of civil society associations, stronger support for women's rights, and combating domestic violence in implementation of the Istanbul Convention that we have ratified. The Council of Europe is involved in almost all of these aspects in supporting the reform process in building rule of law in the Republic of Moldova, which is an important aspect in our EU accession as well. Reforming the legal structures are not easy. As I mentioned, the society should support our efforts, and they do. This is why we came up with the initiative to hold a constitutional referendum at the end of this year in support of European integration. This will allow us to set the common goals for the entire country and move together in the same direction. Ladies and gentlemen, I started by saying that security on our continent is seriously violated, and common set of rules have been brutally undermined. On the map of European multilateral structures, the Council of Europe remains a credible, successful, and well-regarded institution, with unique expertise and the role of a standard bearer. It is important to preserve and strengthen the role of the Council of Europe. We are very grateful to the Secretary General for her leadership in leading the organization through these difficult times. The next Secretary General will require even stronger commitment to provide and promote ideas, proposals, and solutions that would reach beyond political divides and promote our common agenda of peace and democracy. In Reykjavik, we stepped up an important track, reaffirming the place and the role of organization on the map on the international cooperation and multilateralism. That momentum has to be kept and relentlessly built upon. Before concluding, I'd like to say that we will be truly honored to hold the presidency of the Committee of Ministers between November 25 and May 26, which will coincide with the 30th anniversary of Moldova's membership in the Council of Europe. We are looking forward to bringing our contribution in further consolidating the organization, making it stronger and better equipped to deal with old problems as well as emerging ones. But most importantly, pivotal to safeguarding peace, justice, democracy, rule of law, human rights for all the countries and people on the European continent and beyond. Thank you.